Hey guys, it's Elisa here with Thoughtful Creativity, and today we're going to be doing hand lettering on fabric. I will show you my step-by-step process as well as share my top tips so that you can create something beautiful. So if you want to know how, keep on watching. As for the supplies, I have these fabric totes that I made myself. Tutorial will be in the info box below. I will use a regular Sharpie, a regular pencil. You will also need some sort of fabric markers. I have these fine tip rainbow markers and I will link them in the description below. You will also need a piece of cardboard and just a plain white sheet of paper. My first tip is to always start with a sketch. Whether you're confident or not, once you start lettering on fabric, there's really no going back, since majority of the fabric paints and markers are permanent. I try to keep my sketches for lettering on fabric as crisp and clean as possible. To my taste, too many details or too much shading just doesn't look right when it's done on fabric. Now, I will use this sketch to put underneath one of the toes that I will be lettering. However, sometimes fabric is too thick and you cannot see through it. If that's the case for you, what you can do is sketch it out, still use it as a reference, but use a piece of chalk to chalk it on top of your fabric, so that way you can still achieve the design that you desire without lettering right away with the fabric paint on top of your fabric. And by the way, if you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if it helped you to create something beautiful today. So go ahead and use Sharpie to outline main details of your design, so that way you can actually see them through your fabric once you're ready to letter. And this is the final sketch of our design, so let's get started. To avoid paint seeping through and getting on the other side of the tote, place your sketch on a piece of cardboard, wrap it around to prevent the movement, and once it's done, place the entire piece inside of the tote so that you can see the design. Tip number 2 is to use clips to secure the fabric. Fabric as it is a lot more flexible than paper. Therefore, using clips or pins or tape or anything else to secure your fabric and prevent it from moving would be a great idea. That will also help you to create a lot crisper design once you get started. Tip number 3 is very important. Always swatch the paint and markers that you're going to be using on the same type of fabric that you're going to be doing your lettering on. So here I have this really nice pale orange that doesn't look so pale on the actual swatch of fabric. It actually looks super bright. Especially if you're going to be doing blending just like I did over here, swatching your markers is a must. The next tip is also a very important one. Work in sections. I have personally ruined numerous amounts of work by rushing and not paying attention if the actual paint is dry enough or not to move to the next step. So here's my advice. Work in sections, one section at a time. It's better to go slower than faster. And before you start lettering on your fabric, try not to use any sort of hand lotions or hand creams, and try to make sure that your hands are actually dry. Why? Because if your hands are moist, the paint, although it will seem that it will be quite dry, will actually adhere to your hands, and the next time you touch the fabric with your hand, it will create a smudge that was not intended in your design. Therefore, definitely work one section at a time, tiny piece by tiny piece, and that will help you to create a really nice crisp design that you are going for. Also, another thing that I've noticed about a lot of fabric markers is that they dry a lot lighter than they appear at first. So if you want that really nice bold design, I would suggest waiting a little bit and then applying a second coat of paint to really make sure that your design pops. So for example, the design that I did just black on the tote, I actually outlined it twice to make sure that it really pops and then the lines look really crisp. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, click that like button, and let me know in the comments below which design did you like the most, the black and white or the one that's in color. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.